action. And you're going to talk about time today because I think that that's where some people, manifest things and they think about what time, how long is it going to take to happen, right?
Yeah, I think that people always get impatient. Like when you start with the whole process and you know how to do the 5 steps of manifestation or 6 steps, it doesn't matter which framework you use. And then people are doing the work. And after one day, they're looking around and they say, where is it? Where is my result? And so that is like the worst thing you can do is trying to look for the result and not seeing it, because now you have that not seeing it or not showing up in your reality in your mind. So this is exactly what is going to show up. It's not going to show up. You understand? So it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy. When you start focusing on the absence of it, then that's what's going to happen.
Oh, interesting. So a lot of times you don't know, you say, well, it's not working, it's not going to happen. And then it just happens, poof. And it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, it could be 2 days, it could be
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that we expect things to show up magically. And of course that could be, knowing that we have examples enough that things can show up in your reality right away. But think about it this way. We know that when a baby is born, that's only after 9 months. And you cannot make that go faster in any way, shape, or form. So there is this certainty about the how long that is going to take. It's going to be 9 months, and everybody knows it. And there is nobody in his right mind that after 6 months is going to start complaining and say, it's not coming, it's not showing up. What
It's
is
not going to
it? Is it
happen.
not
No.
working? It's not going to happen, because we know exactly
Right,
how
right.
long,
Exactly. And then
exactly how long it's going to take. Okay. So for when we start manifesting stuff, you want the car and you do all the work and it's not showing up right away. There's nobody telling you it's going to be a week, it's going to be 2 weeks, it's going to be 2 months. And because you have that uncertainty, that is when you lose faith. So you need to understand that everything has a certain period of time before it can unfold. And so it, for certain things, we know it, and for other things, we don't. But we need to have the same certainty that a baby is 9 months for all the other stuff that we want to have happening in our life.
totally, because we never know when that's going to happen. Like, and have you seen manifestations not take 20 years sometimes, right?
It could be, and it's all about how badly do you want it? How much certainty do you have? How much do you believe that it is true? Because as we already discussed a million times, it's our subconscious that is in charge. So there is, of course, all the rules of the universe, all the rules of whatever is going on, like baby born, 9 months, not going to go faster. We know that it is true. We have 4 seasons. You cannot pull seasons, you cannot make them go faster. We have 4 seasons and they happen every year at the same time. And there may be a little bit of difference in nature, but this is what it is. It's unfolding effortlessly. So we don't doubt that. We don't doubt that there are 4 seasons when you live in an area where there are 4 seasons. The same with grass that is growing. You cannot pull grass to grow faster. You're going to break it. It's not going to happen. So you have to have that certainty that once you plant the seed, you need to walk away and trust that it is going to come at exactly the right time.
And that right time could be whenever. It just got to be
Yeah,
ready.
the right time will be when it's unfolding for you. There are many, many people that want things now. And because it's not happening now, they get all upset, they go crazy, they're like all over the place, and they say, oh, this is not working. It's like, and we know when you're going to say that the law of attraction is not working, in a way, you're a little bit of an idiot, because it's the same thing as saying that the law of gravity is not working. So, you can't fight them. The only thing you can do is use it in your advantage.
Right. Because that it makes it makes complete sense, but people don't have. That's probably why a lot of people aren't successful. It's creating their dreams, like writing down their goals and saying, okay, I want these goals to attain these goals, and I manifest these things, and I'm going to let it unfold. Because sometimes the way we let it unfold, we're like, this was totally not what I expected. This is
Oh,
not what I wanted. Or
100%. I see
I
things.
don't,
Yeah.
that was not it. It looked like it was going one direction. And I'm like, oh, it's completely going somewhere else. When you thought you wanted this way. And then you said, no, I really don't. But the good news is we have the control to say we don't have to have it anymore.
That is so true. And again, when you have faith that it is going to happen, most of the times things show up even better than what you expected.
Yeah. And then there's things, it's so many different signs knocking you on the head. You need to go this direction. Yet we're crazy enough to just keep trying these other things first. And then at least people who are smart enough to say, no, that's not who I am. That's not what I want to do. We slowly but surely can manifest something else. Or our subconscious telling us, we don't want to be in this place. We got to have things change. And yet we still go through the motions, even though we want those things changed. Why is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Like, okay, well, I really want it this way, but I'm going to try it this way. And then you tried it again and say, why did I do that again? So that's the process of
We
look.
know why. We know why, because
Yeah.
we're programmed. We're programmed to do things a certain way. And so in order to get a different result, you're going to have to do things a different way. And one of the ways to do it differently is be patient. Be patient and don't try to manipulate things, because manipulation usually comes from the ego. When you are looking at something and it's not there yet, and you feel like you need to have it, that shows that you think you know better than the universe, which is never true.
All
Never.
right. That sounds really good. Let's talk about when time you really aren't manifesting well with time. So let's say you have a timeline, you need to do this in a year, and it doesn't happen. What do you reflect on then? If you did create a timeline for it?
Well, when you create a timeline, I'm saying it again, it comes from your ego. You want that in a certain way. It's the same thing as saying, I want the baby born after 6 months. You put it there and you say, so you don't realize that certain things are just not possible. When you have a goal, the whole universe has to come together to make that happen. Sometimes it takes time. We live in a three-dimensional world. Like things are not, they don't, thank God we have a concept that is time. Can you imagine? Because we know our thoughts create our reality. Can you imagine that everything that you think is going to show up in your reality right there and then?
That'd be
Like,
crazy.
I'm thinking about a pink elephant, and all of a sudden, I have a pink elephant in my room.
That's not
Thank
happening.
God there is a time issue here. So when we think about it, there is a lot of stuff that has to go on in order to get you what you want. And if you don't get what you want, there could be different reasons, or you don't do it. You really don't have faith that it's going to happen. You have a limited belief that holds it back, or the universe has something better for you in store.
And then you're able to paint the picture
No,
to
let
make
it go.
sure where you want to go. And if that picture's painted, it might be different than you thought when you started drawing,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
because or you thought this is what I saw, and then it is exactly your goals written down on your sheet of paper, but they're just a little different than you expected, and
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
that is when you learn to be more specific. That's my that's my experience. I always got what I wanted when I look back, but it was not always what I expected. But that was not the universe's fault. That was my fault because I wasn't specific enough.
So let's say our listeners and viewers went ahead and created three goals right now: a health, wealth, and
Relationships.
relationship goal.
Yeah, those are the three big ones.
If they create those right now, today, the best thing is to be as specific as possible,
Yes,
down
100%.
to down to the T.
Yes. It's the same thing. If you're going to order something from Amazon and you say, I want to order a refrigerator, I promise you that refrigerator is never going to come. Because if you are not specific and you tell Amazon exactly what kind of refrigerator that you want, nothing will ever be delivered at your house. So it's the same thing. You need to be specific, or you might get like a commercial laundry machine, whatever. You get something that could be categorized under what you want, but it's not exactly what you want.
Okay. Such great information again. I think people really have to focus on the biggest take today is specific goals. And let's say you've written some down, you put them in put them in a drawer and said it's not working, or I'm okay. And then do you want to go back to those, or can you rewrite them again? Why even go back to those old written ones if you have a new goal in mind or a new change?
The only reason why you should go back to it and look at it is to convince yourself how much evidence you see from it going to show up. For example, same thing, dishwashers, washing machine,
Yeah.
whatever. You think about it, you want it. All of a sudden, you're going to see showing up in your letterbox all kind of promotional materials. You're going to see it on TV. You're going to see, all of a sudden, you're going to get like a lot of information about those washer dryers, whatever, you know. And so that is showing you that it is that the universe is like conspiring to get you what you want, because it gives you all the view on what's possible. And so you see, you have to, the only reason why you should go back and see what it is to convince yourself that you see so much evidence around you that it is on its way.
What if you wrote it down and then you said, I really don't want that now? And that's when you kind of shift. It's okay, right?
Yeah, the thing is not to give it any, not to give it excess value. If you are already attached to something, then you give it value, you put it on a pedestal, you put it somewhere that it gets more value than it's really. So then you give the universe the idea that it is like more important than anything else. That's never a good thing. You can never give what you want more importance than what you have today.
And then the problem is there's life lessons that go through and circumstances and everything else of your other goals that could relate to make things change. And then if you feel happy and you feel like this is what you want, you create it, it's good. But it's kind of weird. You think you want to be one place, then 6 months later, you're in a different place, which means you did create it. But ultimately, the things that you did want 6 months ago, you don't anymore.
Yeah, and
And
that's
that's
totally
that.
fine. That is totally fine. It's part of the journey. It's
You
part of
think
the
you
journey.
do, and our brains think it, but then when they see it and they say this is what it's going to be, they're really not into it. All right, well, we appreciate it. Go to Rika Rivka Markel right now and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Appreciate